Hi, thank you for joining us this week for ABI's weekly business report. I'm Nicole Crain, and with me is Brad Hartkopf, IPAC Treasurer and ABI Director of Public Policy. On Tuesday, June 7th, the state of Iowa held primaries for Republican and Democrat races across the state and for national level candidates. Brad, it was a really big night. Can you give us some of the highlights of what happened at the federal level with the U.S. Senate and congressional primaries being held around the state?
Well, it's good to be with you, Nicole, and it's great to be with our members as well. Very exciting election night, primary on June 7th. I was telling Nicole earlier, I was really excited. It felt like Christmas was coming early this year to see these results roll in. So a lot of big things happened, especially at the federal level. Some very competitive primary races on both the Democratic and Republican side. For the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate, Admiral Mike Franken won by a resounding margin, approximately 15 points over his two competitors. And I think it was a little surprising to see him win by that much. I think people thought that he could win the race, but not by that kind of margin, especially over a former Congresswoman. And on the Republican side, you have the third congressional race where you had three Republicans seeking the nomination to take on Cindy Axne. And Zach Nunn just walked away with it. He won by about 45 points or so. And again, I think people thought that Zach could win, but not by that kind of margin. So really interesting to see how people turned out and who they voted for in the federal side.
And it's also for those of you who may not be in the third district. The third district makes up the city of Des Moines, Polk County, and then Brad, a lot of Southwest Iowa does it go clear to Council Bluffs still?
Council Bluffs is now in the 4th congressional district. I believe it goes, I'm looking at my map right here. It's going over to Cass County, Montgomery, and then Page, and then it heads east from there.
Okay. So as you can tell, there was a lot of votes in Polk County. That's where, as we were analyzing numbers, we really saw Zach Nunn run up the score. And so those rural counties for those other candidates didn't make a difference. Zach Nunn continued to win soundly in those as well. So we talked about the federal races. Let's switch over to the state. Any surprises for the night? What's the big takeaway from the races? As we all know, it's redistricting year. So there were a lot of newcomers to the ballot box last night on both the Republican and Democrat side, but it sounds like there were some surprises and maybe an overall theme from some of those high profile races.
I think the biggest theme to take away from the state races is that Governor Reynolds had a very successful night last night. She got herself involved in a number of races where incumbent legislators were opposed to her school choice legislation, and the governor decided to endorse a number of challengers to those incumbents. And by far and wide, she was very successful in that regard. I believe that 8 of the 9 candidates that she endorsed overall won their races. So a big night for her. I think another theme that you can take away from last night's results are the fact that you had 6 incumbent House Republicans lose. Now, 3 of those incumbents were set to lose because they were facing fellow incumbents in squaring off after redistricting, but you had 3 House Republicans lose to challengers. And again, Governor Reynolds endorsed all 3 of those folks who defeated those sitting incumbents. So that's the main takeaway. And I think the school choice issue, it's going to be back before us in 2023. And I think based on how the results came last night, that there's a great opportunity that issue is addressed next year in some shape or fashion.
And it seems like with all the new faces, regardless of what party, there's a lot of opportunity for Iowa employers and business folks to educate those candidates to talk about why pro-business, pro-jobs policies are important. So look for information from Brad and JD and all the organizations throughout the summer and fall about how you can get involved in getting out the vote and educating your employees, because time and again, employers are still the most trusted source of information when it comes to elections and issues. So stay tuned for more information, and we hope to see you at an ABI event coming up soon. Thanks and have a great day.